Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm here for episode 3 of the series album deep cuts, and it's going to be for the band Fear Factory. This video I actually wanted to get uploaded in 2021, but I just haven't really got around to it, to be honest. So as like the first two videos in the series, I'm going to be taking one song from every Fear Factory album and talking about it. So, that being said, let's go and get started with episode 3 of Album Deep Cuts, and it's going to be for the band Fear Factory. So, the song I'm going to choose off of their debut album, Soul of a New Machine, is going to be the song Crash Test. Of course, this is the song I'm going with because this is a classic. I mean, it is one of the non-singles from the album because I don't recall this album actually having any singles at all. From what I looked up on Wikipedia, this band didn't have any singles until their second album, The Manufacturer, so I could have picked any song from this debut album, but I went with Crash Test because I think it's one of the best songs on the album. Not the biggest fan of the whole album because I can't really get into Burton C. Bell's vocals, to be honest, on this album, but I still think Crash Test is one of the better songs out of all of the songs that I liked from this album, Soul of a New Machine, so that's the song I'm going with for their debut album. It's a known classic, and it was even re-recorded in 2010 as like a bonus track or something for their 2010 Mechanized album, so thought I'd tell you how much of a classic the original 1992 version is from their debut album from the year 1992, Soul of a New Machine. So the song I'm picking for their second album, The Manufacturer, is going to be Self-Bias Resistor. This is a really great song, and this song is just great. I love everything about it. Burton C. Bell's vocals are amazing. The riffs, this is just another classic. Definitely a song I'm really into when it comes to this album. Just an amazing song. Just a great song from a damn great album, because I do think The Manufacturer is the best Fear Factory album, and a lot of other fans in this band would appreciate me saying that, since they tend to enjoy this album a lot when it comes to Fear Factory. So, Self-Bias Resistor, definitely a great song, so that's the song I'm choosing for their second album, The Manufacturer. So the song I'm going to pick for their third album, Obsolete, is the song Edge Crusher. This was the first song I got to discover from this great metal band, thanks to the video game Sleeping Dogs, which I got to play that back in 2018 when I had a PlayStation 3, because that song was included in one of the radio stations of that video game Sleeping Dogs, and I've been a fan of this band ever since that song. First discovered it in 2018 thanks to that video game Sleeping Dogs, like I said. So this is definitely an amazing song. It's one of my favorite Fear Factory songs of all time, so easily makes the list, and I think it's one of the best songs on Obsolete. Just a great song, amazing, catchy song, just a really good song overall. So if you're a Fear Factory fan, definitely go back to the song because it's an amazing one for sure. And I'm glad it was my first song from this band, because it's not a bad choice to first get into the band, because that's how I discovered them, through the song. So the song I'm going to pick for their album Digimortal is the song No One. This is one of their more underrated songs. Not many fans probably know much about this song compared to the first few entries in the list here, but I still like this song. I mean, I don't think it's one of their best songs overall, but I still like the song though, because it is another really catchy one, and the chorus, you'll just be wanting to come back to this song a lot over and over again, because it's a really heavy, catchy tune. Just an awesome song though, overall. So No One from Digimortal is the song I'm picking for their Digimortal album. Just a great song, and regardless of it being not one of my favorites from them in general, I still like it, and it's a damn great song still. So No One is the song I'm choosing for their 2001 album, Digital World. Great song and one of the better songs outside of the singles for the album. So the song I'm picking for their 2004 album, Archetype, is the song Undercurrent. This is another underrated song from these guys from a really great album. Archetype, easily top 3 Fear Factory album for me. Just a good album, very heavy album, aggressive as fuck. Undercurrent is no different because it's definitely a great song. So, Undercurrent from Archetype, definitely a song that I've been a fan of ever since discovering this whole album back in like 2019 or 2020, whenever it was. So, Undercurrent, definitely one of my favorites off of the Archetype album. So, I'm picking it as one of my favorite deep cuts for this list. So next is going to be the song Millennium from their 2005 album Transgression. I know this is not an original song, it is a cover of the Killing Joke song of the same name, but I really like this cover. It's got great riffs. Transgression is one of my least favorite Fear Factory albums overall, but I think Millennium is a huge standout for that album. Even though it is a cover, it's still a huge standout for the album because this album, while I don't think it's the worst thing ever, I do think it's one of Fear Factory's weakest albums, and a lot of people agree with me on that as well. But yeah, this cover is just special. They took a really good song from the band Killing Joke and put their own twist on this cover, and that's what I really think about the cover, Millennium. So this song is one of the hugest standouts on that whole album, in my opinion. So that's why I'm choosing it for that album. So next is going to be the song Industrial Discipline. This is going to be from their album Mechanized, which is their 2010 album, like I brought up earlier, for the re-release of Crash Test. So, yeah, Industrial Discipline, great song, very heavy, just a really good song. Meanwhile, while I'm not really the biggest fan of the Mechanized album overall, like a lot of other people, I'm not just too crazy about this album. I don't think it's bad, I just don't have it in my top 3, but it's still probably in my top 5 somewhere, or whatever, top 5 album, top 6, whatever. Still not a bad album, but I'm picking Industrial Discipline as a favorite for me outside of the singles, because it's a song I come back to a lot from Mechanized. So yeah, Industrial Discipline, one of the good songs from the album. So, the song I'm picking for their album, The Industrialist, is going to be the song Difference Engine. And, I mean, there's not really much to say about this song because it's just another typical Fear Factory song, pretty much. It's not the best thing ever. It is a good song still. It's got some pretty good riffs, but I mean, I don't think it's one of the best Fear Factory songs on the album, but when it comes to non-singles, I think it's one of the better songs outside of the non-singles. But if I'm talking about the whole album overall, it's just far from being a good song. But when it comes to the deep cuts, though, I can appreciate this song still, so that's why I'm choosing it for the list for that album. So yeah, Difference Engine from the Industrialist. Still not a bad song, though, because I still like it. It's just not my favorite of the album, but when it comes to the deep cuts, it is a favorite. So that's why I chose it for the deep cuts from that album. So just a couple more songs left, guys, for this list. So the song I'm picking for the album, Genex, is going to be the album's title track. I just really like this song a lot. I mean, Genex is another one of my Fear Factor albums that I don't really come back to all that much. I mean, I don't think it's a bad album. I just think they have better albums than Genex, in my opinion. But the title track is definitely a good and heavy, aggressive song that I've always enjoyed a lot from the album since I first got to hear it in full. So, the title track is a good song, and it is a great song, and I think it's one of Fear Factory's best title tracks out of any of their title tracks that are on albums. Because you know, some artists are with their albums, sometimes they don't have a title track, but Fear Factory tends to have title tracks a lot on their albums, which is cool to me, you know. So yeah, Genex is definitely a good title track for sure. So last is going to be the song Collapse from their newest album, Aggression Continuum. This is a song I come back to a lot from that album. Just a great album overall. I do think it's their best album since Archetype, like I said plenty of times before on YouTube. Not to really mean that. But Collapse, though, is just a great song. I really like it a lot. It's definitely a badass song, kick-ass song. Just, there's nothing bad to say about Collapse at all. It's definitely a good song. And this song is fantastic. And I do think it's one of Fear Factory's best non-singles for many of their albums that are non-singles, or for many of their songs that are non-singles. I mean, this is definitely one that tops the list. So, yeah, guys, let me know y'all's favorite Fear Factor deep cuts from all 10 of their studio albums. This is my list. I'm sorry if I didn't get to say much about all of these songs. It's because I haven't really gone back into Fear Factory all that much for a while, but I still like this band though, so that's kind of why I don't really have a great explanation for every entry in the list. So, hope you guys can understand that. So with that being said though, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.